I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna... You know what? I ain't jumping. And this is what one of the most dangerous moments in pole vaulting looks like.
Sometimes see the men hurdling. Oh, there's a real accident there.
Guess she wanted to cool off from all the running, so she just took a dive in the little pool. It looks like she's trying to shoot and score, but she was actually passing. And now we have another athlete hesitant about that night jump. The coach that saved his trainee's life.
Again, we've got some fast finishing poles out on the outside lanes.
She might have won, but at what expense? Sometimes going all in on the treadmill is not the best idea. Oh, she is definitely dedicated to getting that ball out of the... Oh, crud. Doing 3 sets of 12 like this, and you'll be more hammered than doing hammer curls. She wasn't going for the long jump, she was going for the high jump, and that's why this happened. Well, at least it wasn't like she was preparing all year for this one competition. Oh, wait. This seems fair, doesn't it? The referee pushes the player, and the player gets a penalty. Nice. From this day forward, the lady in the blue sports bra has viscerally hated rain. She doesn't go out when it's raining, she doesn't talk about rain, and she closes her blinds when it's raining outside. She lost the racket in the middle of the game, but did she give up? Heck no, she just smacked the birdie with her hand hoping no one noticed. Then she went and picked up her racket. Okay, the first time she took the bar with her. The second time she sat on top of the bar. Can someone please tell this girl that the bar should stay in place and she should try to jump over it? Wipe yourself down and throw the towel. Why would you take it with you when one of your opponents clearly wants it? Now that's what we call unprofessional. Well, she might have tripped and fell, but she did score a point, so it was actually worth it. As for her opponent, why on the earth didn't she just extend her left hand and get the point? When your serve is so powerful, you wind up taking down the entire net. Guess someone didn't do their job like they should have. We don't know what they're pointing to, we don't know who they are looking at, but we think that someone is going to get lucky tonight. This is what happens when you decide you don't want to be an accountant anymore, but you realize it after you got your college diploma. And for a brief moment right there, the audience members thought she was playing soccer, not basketball. Now, a sane person would think she is going to do pole vaulting, but this girl wanted to show the entire world how good she is at gymnastics. Simone Biles, get ready to be dethroned. Okay, did these two seriously sit down in the middle of the walkway to take photos? Well, guess someone's happy to be here. This was one of the easiest points in the world, which makes this fail one of the biggest tennis fails in the world. Okay, whoever thought this would be a good idea has clearly never run a day in their life. Like, why on earth would you place a giant banner like that? It should be small and something the runner can break when crossing the finish line. If you ever get tired after a tennis match, you don't need to fight through it. Sit down, take a break, it's not a competition. The important thing is to have fun.
Just have a little sit down mid-rally.
Facing backwards.
How to emasculate all strong and tall basketball players on the court? Well, you can smash that like button. But no, in all seriousness, you can do what this cheerleader did and get the ball before any of them. That'll probably do it. When the spring implants in your heels malfunction in the middle of the game and you jump over the crowd and land on the fans.
Jasmine Jones with the hustle, diving into the stands, flipping over.
Usually the rules are you score a basket and you get a prize, but for this girl, she gets a prize if the ball touches the basket within a 3-foot radius.
Oh, that's the insurance.
That's got to be one of the craziest dribbles in the world. Those two girls in the white jersey didn't know what hit them. The goalie barely saw the ball. Well, this is what happens when you load that bow with more equipment than a sniper needs.
Defended by
by Dudek. Oh, almost. Motikova doesn't know what to do here.
And this is the goalie that deserves the biggest raise in the world. We get it, it was a fail, but it was so epic that it puts her in a special league all by herself. Can someone please tell this girl that the point of the competition is to make the smallest splash possible? But you know, there are do-overs in the sport, so she has nothing to worry about, right?
Certainly not from a Chinese diver. Is she okay?
Whoever secured those umbrellas in place did a stellar job. When you're so good at jumping that even the water doesn't behave the way it should, just look at how smooth that dive was. This time, it's not the pole's fault. The pole vaulter decided she would skip the part where she has to jump over the bar. She was hoping people wouldn't notice. They say the third time's the charm, and the goalie believes that very much. For example, the first 2 attempts to score were failures, but then the goalie took matters into her own hands. She slapped her own face, she screamed, and she jumped to motivate herself, and it still didn't work. Maybe she should have kept some of that energy for the jump. We don't know what this girl saw on the field, but we're assuming it was either Slenderman or Pennywise the Clown. And you thought archery was a man's sport. This girl is shooting arrows like a machine. Legolas, eat your heart out. We know she is strong. We know she can lift more weight than we ever could. All the power to her. We just feel a little sad knowing that at one point in her life her husband or boyfriend probably had to tell her about something they messed up. And then she got angry. No, after you serve, you win. You don't need to run after the tennis ball and try to hit it, even if it's just 3 feet away from you. You just stand in one spot and hope for the best. Sweetie, the point is to go over the bar, okay? Sarcasm aside, we're just glad she isn't hurt and that everything is fine. Well, the important thing is not to give up, but there's no shame in changing your profession entirely. That's not quitting, it's more like shifting focus. Do you think this was a good point? We thought so.
Athlete, sometimes there's a cost to that as far as balance.
Darn it! Who put this green carpet over here? Don't you know that people with sunglasses have trouble seeing? Those 2 female athletes before her don't understand the struggle. Now you see this girl going on the offense, right? Well, we have one question here. Who was she trying to pass the darn ball to? That birdie in badminton is flying so freaking fast that you can barely see it, but you can sure feel it, especially if it smacks you over the head.
If they start knocking out each other.
Yeah, the smash going straight.
Guess the camera guy and this female athlete really hit it off. She even winked at him. We know one tennis racket company that won't be getting any callbacks from this athlete. She didn't do anything wrong, she just swung the racket and its head came off. Now there's a cool way of celebrating your victory. She didn't even have to wait for the results. She eyeballed it and then did this. That's Newton's first law of physics in action. A soccer player in motion will tend to stay in motion, even if there's a giant barrier in front of her that she clearly saw. That last part is something we added. Okay, if this is the way she starts off the cricket match, maybe it would be best if she sat this one out. We're not saying she's a bad player, we're just saying that it's probably not her day. Well, instead of jumping over the bar, just go under it. Only a few people know this, but it's the same number of points, for real. Film a workout video with dogs, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Meanwhile, you're trying to get your sweater from this little nasty guy. A nearly perfect routine ruined by one single tumble. Now that's what you call bad luck. If you're like any normal person, you would think that she is going to shoot, right? Well, that's only because you're an average Joe. If you're a pro, then the best thing to do here is pass. We still think it would be better if you cleaned the broom instead of your jacket. But hey, what do we know? You're the pro here. This was probably the longest run over the long run sandbox in the history of the sport. She cleared through it like Usain Bolt during the 100-meter dash. Thanks for watching, guys.